So taking a break now from all those top speed and all those top speed tunes, now I've got a 700 pp tune for this A45 to make 1.65 mil credits an hour on Le Mans. Now I know there's the Tomahawk method around, was it Tokyo Expressway, that gets you about 2.5 mil an hour, but this just makes like something different. It changes the atmosphere, it changes the scenery, I guess, so that you don't have to keep repeating the Tomahawk race over and over and over again. I mean, if you want to, that's fine, but I think it's better learning a real world circuit with set specifications, learning how to drive a proper car that you've tuned, rather than just racing around a broken car around the same circuit over and over again. So here's the A45, four-wheel drive, nice livery on it, which I made myself, which I'm actually pretty proud of. And yeah, let's just get straight into the tune. I'll explain anything else if I think of anything later in the video. Right, next up, we're going to go to the tuning shop, show you what parts I've actually bought. So in the sports section, you want to go weight stage 1. On club sport, you want your bore up, high lift cam, weight stage 2. I did buy the power restrictor and ballast, but I didn't actually use it for the tune, so you can buy it if you want. Then under the racing section, you want the racing crankshaft, fully customizable computer. For this specific tune, I used the medium RPM turbo. I can't remember why, but that's the one I used. I think I ended up doing testing with all three, and the medium turned out to be the best one. I think it had the perfect balance between torque and power. It was like in between. And it probably helped with fuel economy as well. So go with the medium. Then you want your weight stage 3 and your body rigidity, which I have figured out does help. It helps alongside with the suspension tuning. So the stiffer body means you can go a little bit softer on the suspension, or you can go even stiffer on the suspension and it will dive and dart around the corners very quickly. On here, on the racing section, you want your engine balance tuning, polished ports. I bought anti-lag, but I haven't turned it on because it actually does waste fuel. So if you're in a budget, don't buy it. But if you want to buy it, don't turn it on. Intercooler, air filter, silencer, exhaust manifold, racing brake pads, fully customizable suspension, flywheel, torque vectoring center diff, racing transmission. Can't buy weight stage 4. And on this one, I used the medium tires. So if you obviously, again, if you're on a budget, just buy the mediums. Then on the extreme section, I bought the carbon brake kit. You could probably get away with using the other brakes as well, but I just bought the carbon brake kit just in case something happened. I didn't notice a difference in brake performance. And then I bought intermediates and wets just in case there was heavy rain, because the weather on Le Mans is very unpredictable. Sometimes you can have a completely dry race. Sometimes it soaks the whole race and then you're stuck halfway around the lap on hard tires whilst the water's piling up. So now we'll move on to the actual tune and see how I've set it up. Right, since this is a slightly different type of video that I'm doing, I figured I'd take a slightly different approach. So we're at the pits at Le Mans on the race, on the half an hour endurance race. And we're going to go through the settings, and then I'm going to take you around on a lap, do like a sort of live commentary sort of thing. I'll see how it works out. If I lawn dart into a wall, I lawn dart into a wall. It doesn't matter. So obviously we've got racing medium tires starting off with. Suspension, 110 ride height, front and rear. Anti-roll bar 5 on the front, 7 on the rear. Compression on 35 on both. Expansion on 45 on both. Natural frequency 2.05 on both. Negative camber on 1 front and back, and no toe. Then for your diff, you want 10 40 30 front and rear with a torque split of 65-35. Obviously you can change this and it won't affect the performance points, as you can see. So you can adjust that to however you want. It just means it will either hook up more or understeer more or oversteer more, depending on how much power you send to the front wheels. But I found this was a happy balance for it to just slide out a little bit so that it's actually engaging during the race. For the downforce, we've got 10 on the front, 79 on the back. So I've put front and rear downforce on this car as part of delivery as well. Delivery you can download off my page if I haven't mentioned already. I probably have in the intro, but I'll say it again. All of these I've kept stock, no ballast, no power adjustment. And then for the transmission, I've literally put it on 310 auto setting, and that's it. And that's all for the tuning. I didn't end up doing a transmission flip because I figured it would probably be too much of a hassle and it wouldn't make too much of a difference on such a long track in terms of acceleration. All you really want to do is win, and that's about it. And cross the finish line at the right time so you don't end up doing another lap. So you want to finish as close to 30 minutes as possible. That's the idea anyway. But that's also very dependent on the weather and stuff. So let's take it out on the track. Obviously you want to put it all the way on lean as you start. And we'll take it round on a lap. So yeah, lean all the way up to 6. You'll overtake them all by the end of the first lap. I tend to shift at the line that's in between the speed and what gear you're in at the bottom. So that's when I choose to shift. And because it's a medium RPM turbo, it reaches peak power well before red line. So you want to be shifting early anyway to maximize the power under the curve, basically. Yeah, overtaking all these Group 4 cars is pretty straightforward. You'd want to be thinking about pitting on the end of the third lap, because that's when you'll be below 1 lap of fuel, so you definitely want to do that. I think they pit on the end of the oh my god, okay. They pit at the end of the third lap as well. Obviously we got light mechanical damage on this race as well. Tire and fuel wear is 4x, I think. If you want to maximize your slipstream, more speed is more better. You're way faster than any of these cars anyway, so this should not be a problem unless you severely mess up your pit strategy. If you're in a low gear and you end up putting the accelerator on too early, especially through some of the 90-degree turns, you'll end up like kicking the back out, which is easy to control in this case. Not like before 1.13 where they handled, well actually this was a bit more twitchy before 1.13, but now it just feels a bit more stable and counter steering is a lot easier now. So I think they've gone back to like the original GT Sports physics, because I know GT Sports, they used to mess up with the physics like on a weekly basis, because I was more of an esports game and this is more of like a casual player with a bit of esports, like what I'm used to based on Gran Turismo 6 and 5. So yeah, you'll be reaching about 170 to 180. This will lap the lap at full kill. I think my best lap's at 412. 412 is my fastest lap. And then obviously you'll be adding an extra minute on that if you're on intermediate or wet tires, if it starts pissing down with rain later in the race. I think that Suzuki Swift does have very good fuel economy, so that will end up doing like an extra 2 laps or 1 or 2 laps over everyone else. But it's also on very lean and it's also very slow, so you'll catch up anyway. In fact, speaking of which, I think that's it in front of us. Yeah. Make sure you didn't cut the corners too much or you'll be getting like a half a second penalty. Penalty zones here, so they'll end up automatically pressing the brakes if you've got a penalty. As long as you don't crash into anyone severely, you should get your clean race bonus anyway. If you tap the wall, spin out or cut corners, you'll still get your clean race bonus. So clean race bonus is not really based on whether or not you've actually cut the corners, it's based on if you crash into the drivers like badly. bad enough so that they like spin off the track and lose a few positions sort of thing. But yeah, this will get you 825,000 with the clean race bonus every half an hour, which is about 1.6 mil every hour. This is the more engaging way of earning money rather than doing the Tomahawk around Tokyo Expressway. Even though that way is quicker, it'll get you like 2.4 mil. But you can use this 700 pp tune on other tracks as well. Any sort of good flowing track. Well, it drives pretty well in general, so I don't see why you couldn't be able to use this for anything else, even on a few online races, but that's up to you. So I'll leave it there. Hopefully you enjoyed my first circuit tune. Hopefully it's useful to someone. I'm obviously not the best driver, but I tried my best to put out some sort of content that people will enjoy watching. I'll put out a few more tunes for this. I've also got a 500 performance points tune for one of the endurance races, which I think is really a car that's really fun to drive. I'll put that out some point this week or next week, depending on my work schedule. And yeah, I'll leave it there. Obviously, like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you know when I upload next. I'm always rambling on in the community section as well, so it'll be nice if you lot can engage in that. Follow me on Twitter, Twitch, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next video.